I have but one simple question, and that is, can we get the old Forte back on the road this week? 'Tis but one way to find out, so let's get busy. We have narrowed it down quite a bit. Oh yeah, we ain't got just a handful of things left to do. There's several little small things to do. Well, like getting that dang grill bolted in finally. That's been getting on my nerves. It'll fall out, I'll put it back in. It'll fall out, I'll put it back in. Well, there she sits. Also, we need to fix our water leaks. I want to put a copper line on our oil pressure sending unit. What else? Well, we got to have an accelerator pedal. We got this one in here, but I don't really like it. Looks like a piece of all thread that they just bent. I don't really like that, but we may have to use it. We'll just see. Also, you know how my gauge power wire, it don't do nothing until the vehicle's running. We're gonna fix that. I'm gonna put it on a different circuit. Of course, we got wheels and tires. We got to mount, go get them balanced. I think we've got a richness issue. We'll try to get that fixed. What else do we have to do? Windshield. I got rubber for all the windows. I'd like to get that changed out. That's all I can think of. Oh, wait a minute. One very important thing. Got to have a drive shaft. And we got to change these studs out to longer studs. That's about all I can think of right now. Wait a minute. I got another one. Running boards. Got to get the running boards on. We still got quite a bit to do, fellas. I'm going to try my dangest this week to be done with this, get her back on the road. Well, you can say I got both doors open. Warm weather is here. Time to drive this one. Time to drive that one. Oh, yeah. I think what I'll do, I'll start with some of the small stuff. Let's fix the water leaks first. Yep. Let me show y'all what I got. You know, now that I got a lift, well, I got me an Earl changing thingamabob. Well, I got me a tote. I'm gonna sit up here and catch the waters. So let's get this thing raised up and get the water drained. There's my little apparatus in use. As you can see, it's a very, very small stream. They don't have a petcock. It's just a big old plug. I don't know if y'all can see it up in there or not. It's like a 3/4 inch plug. And y'all know if I take that out, it's just gonna shoot straight out. It's just gonna go everywhere. It's gonna hit this and that, and I won't catch about maybe 5% of it. So 2 hours from now, when this gets done draining, we'll let it down. We'll go up there and fix some leaks. Well, I got tired of waiting on it, so I just pulled the plug. I still have the cap on, so that's probably keeping it from just, you know, going everywhere. Anyway, as soon as it gets drained, we'll get up there and fix some leaks. And I can see right now I'm getting water down in my tank, so I have to clean that out. All right, let's get this here feller off and get this leaking stopped. All right, what do we have? We got a lot of metal shavings down in here, I guess from when I drilled and tapped them holes. You thought it would have got flushed through the system. I'll have to vacuum that out, and we'll put RT and V on the threads of the bolts. Let me get these plugs out. I'm gonna put about 64 wraps of Teflon tape on each one of them. Maybe that'll fix that part. Whilst I got the tip sending unit loose, I'm gonna put this grommet in the firewall here. We'll just cut the Earl sending line because I'm gonna replace that in a minute with copper. We're gonna put this right here. Then I gotta have something. That ain't big enough. Something ain't right. Might have the wrong grommet. Let me go see. Well, apparently this is just not gonna fit this hole. It is for now. Until I can get a different one, we'll just split it, put it in there. Let me get this water leaks fixed. I only put 63 wraps of Teflon tape on this. I think 64 would have been a little excessive. Maybe that'll help fix the leak. I don't know. We'll just have to see. If it don't, well, I'll have to do something else. Well, that bottomed out before it ever got tight, so it's probably going to still leak. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Let me put this here. Tips in the unit back in. We'll put some RTMV on the threads of them bolts, and we'll fill her back up. You know that area right down in there, it's a wee bit rough. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this O-ring back in here, and I'm gonna use the gasket, and I'm gonna put RTMV on them bolts. Well, I don't have to do this again. One gasket is in place. All right, got that part done. My mama didn't raise no dummy. No, sir. That's a handy little pump right there. It really is. As soon as we get that emptied, then I'm sure I'll have to top it off. We'll just let it sit there for a while and see if it goes to leaking. Whilst we wait on that, let's start on the Earl sending unit, change that out to copper. Fellas, I ain't gonna lie to you. I just spent an hour on my head looking under this dash trying to fix this gauge power. Originally, I was going to use power windows because I won't never have power windows on this car. Well, I found that circuit finally. And, you know, because you can't read the labels. Like, evidently, there was an ink shortage when they made this wired harness. So they had to print them so light. Anyway, I was going to use power windows circuit. And, well, it's got 12 volts all the time. I thought, well, let's try a power antenna. Then I thought, well, it's probably going to have power all the time, too. I never found it, by the way. There's 2 circuits. I ain't got a clue what to go to because, well, I just can't find a label. Then I found a backup light, and I thought, well, that's probably going to have power all the time, too. Nope, it doesn't have power at all. I thought, well, let's use cruise. Nope, it doesn't have power at all. Those 2 are on the same fuse, so apparently there's something going on in the fuse panel with that circuit, so I can't use them. Finally, I come across the ignition radio wire, which means, you know, it's coming off the ignition switch. And that's what we're hooked up to now. So let me turn the lights on real quick, like, so you can see. And watch this gauge right here when I turn the key on. Kaplow, that's what it's supposed to do. And the fuel gauge is moving a little bit. So there's something going on there because I put like 7 gallons in it. It should be, you know, at least a quarter of a tank. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Let me short that wire out to ground. And if this don't move, then we got something going on. If it does move, then, well, that sending unit is just a pile of garbage like everything else you buy nowadays. let me see what it does. All right, y'all watch that fuel gauge. I'm going to short this wire out very quickly. Kaplow, kaplow, kaplow. Nothing wrong with the gauge. No, sir. Apparently there's something wrong with that piece of garbage sending unit right there. I'll have to see if I can find another one, different brand. Anyway, I don't know what I'm going to do next. I do too. I'm going to bolt this grill in. I'm tired of it falling off. Let me get that done. Well, I got me a pile of bolts right here. They're pretty small. And these holes are pretty small. And you can't hardly get to some of them. They go right here, just like that right there. And I got to get on back in there. There's a couple there. They ain't too bad, but this horn might be in the way here. Plus, you know, I got to get nuts on the bottom side. I don't really know how I'm going to do that, but give me a little time. I'll figure it out and we'll get this bolted in. Well, upon further investigation, I have determined that in order to keep my sanity, we're going to have to pull this bottom piece off, bring the grill with it, set it over here on a table where I can get to everything bolted together, then put it back on. I can safely say that back in 1940, if my job was to put these 2 pieces together, I wouldn't work at GM a day. I can promise you that. No, sir. This is just, it's ridiculous. Oh, yeah. It don't help that I cut that finger and that finger really bad a couple of days ago. And it hurts to breathe on them, much less Grab hold of these little nuts and washers. Whoo-wee. Yes, sir. It hurts. All right, let's put it back on the car. All right, let's see if we can get this thing in here without a whole lot of trouble. Now, if it'll stay, I'm gonna put some screws in it. There's one. Hey! Ooh, she about fell on me. Oh, yeah. I can see right there, the screw holes ain't gonna line up. No, so I need to loosen these back up, let it down. Get these ones put in, then tighten the inner ones. Yep, so let me do that over. Now, we'll raise it back up and I'll get them bottom ones. What have we done with this? Grill is secure, and it strengthened up the front end a lot because it was really floppy. I was hoping, you know, it would strengthen it up. I got my hood latch over there. I forgot to paint it. It's drying. And of course, I got this piece of trim that goes on top of it. It says shimmy lay on it. I've been trying to figure out where these go, and I think I finally figured it out. This piece bolts right here, just like that. Then this piece clips onto that. Of course, you can see it's really bent, so I'll have to work on it. We'll put that on later. I ain't worried about it right now. Then I got this piece. I don't know where it goes. I think it goes with this piece, and I don't know where it goes. If you all got a 40 shimmy lay and you know where that goes, well, let me know, because I ain't got a clue. I'm assuming it goes on the front end somewhere, but where? I don't know. I think now it's getting kind of late. I spent half the day cleaning up the yard and getting ready to mow, because I got to mow onions sometime this week. I got a bunch of wild onions. I think right now I'm gonna run her back up, jack this back end up, pull the wheels off. Let's see if we can't pull these axles out. Well, I got the wheel and drum off, and then my brain, it started working. It said, hey, you gotta pull that axle. You got plenty of room to knock that stud out and get a new one in. I think I'm not going that much longer, so I should have enough room. As you can see, I already got the old ones knocked out. I'll order them tonight. Hopefully they'll be here tomorrow, and we'll put the new ones in. See y'all tomorrow. Tis the next day. As you can see, I'm in the woods over in the junkyard. Scrounge around for parts, looking for a gas pedal. I think old Red here has got one, so let me get my tools out, see if I can't get that unbolted. We'll take it to the house. With our Tis, we got us a gas pedal for the old Forte. I don't need all this contraption. Not sure what it's for, so we'll probably cut her off right there. Hopefully it'll work. Hopefully I can mount it to the firewall, be in the right location. Tell you what, whilst we're over here, let me show y'all some of the vehicles that you're probably gonna see on the channel eventually. You've probably done seen some of them, but let me walk down here real quick and we'll take a look at them. I've showed y'all that one. Got the pedal assembly out of it. It's not coming. No, sir, it's too far gone. But it's a 69 Impala. That's what the 327 that used to be a Dude. That's what it come out of. The 3-speed also, and the rear end. Yes, sir. This old van, it's a Greenbrier. It's a Corvair van is basically what it is. He told me I could have it, so we got to pull it out. It's in pretty rough shape, as you can see, but I still want it because they're not all that common. No, sir, they sure ain't. As you can see, though, we got work to do to get it out, but we'll get it out this spring. I've showed you the dually down there. Well, let's go down there and look at it. There's the old dually. That's, as far as body-wise, it's in really good shape. Got to have a door, and then all the interior has been robbed. Ain't got no dash or seat. That's minor details. Ain't worried about that. It is diesel, so that'll be gone. We'll have a gas motor in it. Apparently, it's a camper special too. I didn't know that. yeah, we'll drag that out. And this is what I would like to make my tow rig out of. We'll just have to see, but it's not in bad shape. Here's the old 78 Paramount station wagon. Y'all see me pull the rack and pinion out the front of it. That was Mama's old car when I was a kid. I don't know if we'll drag it home or not. I ain't a big fan of it, but it is an old station wagon. You just don't see them anymore. Then I got this one right over here. It's a 52 Chevrolet. It's 4-door. And if you just look at the outside, you think, well, that thing is in really, really good shape. And it is from the outside. But as soon as you open the door, well, it ain't got no floorboard, especially back here in the back. But I still want to drag it home. You know, it's still got the motor in it and all. And yeah, we'll drag it home, get it running. Might turn into a hot rod, you never know. Well, I have determined that we wasted our time going to get this pedal. No matter where I put it, it ain't gonna work. If I mount it here, this part hits. I mount it up here, it hits, and you know, I'd have to space it way out to get it to even work. And I don't do that. I don't know why it's made with this big old curve in it, but that's the issue. So we ain't gonna use that. I guess we'll just use this thing here, and we might try to take this pedal off, put it on here some kind of way. So let me get out here under the hood. I got the other piece of that throttle arm somewhere. I think it's right here. Yep, here it is. I'll figure out how to make all this work. I think it goes in there like that, and then that hooks to the throttle. Let me do a little study on that, and we'll figure out how to do it. Upon further investigation, I determined that I had this backwards. This bushing goes in this end, and then this will go in this hole here. But y'all probably can't see it, but this has got to be twisted straight. And then remember how I made this extension here for all this other linkage? Well, it's covering up this hole. So I got to drill that hole out. If I do those two things, I think we'll have us a throttle. Let us drill a hole right here. All right. Now let me straighten this arm out to approximately right in that area there. Oh crap, I just broke something. That's good. Yeah, I broke it down in there, so I got to take that off and weld it back up after I get this in the position that I want it. Right here is where I broke it. That's where your shaft goes through. Let me get that welded up and then we'll put her back on the car. Let's see if we can get this here contraption back on this right here. Get her tightened up, and then we'll get the rest of the linkage done. Let me get a whoosher and some cautery pins put in here. Then we'll give her a try and see if she's going to open wide open or not. Get this cautery pin in there. All right, let me go in here. Let's see if we got enough pedal movement to open all these wide open. Y'all tell me if this comes that far back or not. Y'all let me know. Are you ready? Warm out, warm out, warm out. Let me look at the video and see what we got. And we got to rearrange these plug wires too. Yeah, because that's a mess. Upon reviewing the footage, one, I've got gasolines leaking out of that carburetor device right there. So that's not good. And it's only coming back to approximately right here. And it needs to come on back to here. Don't know what I'm going to do about that, because if I move it up here, I think it'll be worse, you know, because the arc is going to be bigger. And I'm out of adjustment. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do here. Let me see what I can figure out. I was not planning on this happening. We may have to come in here and bend this pedal up. But then, man, I don't think it way on up here and I'll be all goofy trying to drive it. I don't know what I'm going to do. But what I got ain't going to work. Let me see if I can figure something out. Here's the deal. I've been fooling with this for a few minutes. And well, I got a bunch of slop right there, but that's not the main issue. I think the main issue is that all thread in here, it's twisting. You know, a gas pedal, it's probably some type of hardened metal because you don't want it flexing. Well, this little fella right here, I can feel it twisting and flexing and carrying on. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. We may get that other gas pedal back out, see if I can't modify it, make it work. I'll be back a little bit. I'll let you know what we're going to do. Well, I got on the own lines and I thought I'd found me a bracket that would work. I'm, you know, going with cable. And anyway, I went to town, AutoZone, got it, brought it back home. It said it worked on 2 and 4 bubbles. That is correct, partially. It does not work on a Rochester 2 bubble. It will work on like a Holly or a Motorcraft or any 4-barrel probably, but it don't work on these. So $20 wasted. What I'm gonna have to do, this is a bracket off of a Quadrajet. I'm gonna have to cut it off, and then I'm gonna make me a bracket, probably use these 2 back intake bolts, come up and then weld this to it. Then of course we'll have to make us a square hole. I don't have a square drill bit, so I don't know what I'm gonna do there. But I gotta make a square hole for this to fit through. Then I ain't sure if I'm gonna modify this pedal or just steal the one off of Lockjaw. Probably gonna steal one off Lockjaw because I just don't feel like fooling with that. But I'm not doing it today, well, tonight actually. I've been lazy today, ain't got a whole lot done, no sir. I did stop by Advance Auto, of all places. I never go there. And they had these wheel studs. Nobody else in town had them, nope. I even ordered them at O'Reilly's last night and, well, the order didn't go through, so whatever. I got them now. Let me raise it up and we'll put a few of them wheel studs in, and then I may raise it on up higher, and we might study on the drive shaft a little bit, and then it'll probably be time to call it a day. This is how we're going to put these studs in this axle right here. Well, let me show you this firstly. It's got a shoulder from right there to there, and it is thicker than this flange on this axle. I'll show you what you got to do in a minute, but to get it started, get you a lug nut, and these are, you know, the acorn type tapered. Don't put the tapered end that way. Put the tapered end out. You want the flat side to your axle flange. And you just run her up on there, and hopefully you got an impact, a good one. And once I get this run up on there, you take your impact, and you just go to hammering it till it pulls it through part of the way. Now that we got it started and it's straight, that shoulder I told you about, well, it's going to stick through. And your nut's going to hit it, it's going to jam it up, and it ain't going to be no good. You want to put a couple of washers over it to keep that from jamming up on that shoulder. And then you go to hammering on it again. Still ain't nowhere near there. I may have to get a air impact. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to, because that one there it quit. It wasn't pulling it anymore. And we like, I don't know, a 16th or more. Let me give me air impact, see if it's any better. I've got a 3/4 inch impact, but I don't have a 3/4 to half adapter. So I went to Mom's and got Daddy's old air impact. It used to be a Hoss. I ain't used it in a while. I had just oiled it. Maybe it'll be strong enough to pull this on there. Oh yeah. He pulled it off there like it ain't nothing. Might like just a hair. Let me hit it one more time. Oh yeah, looks pretty doggone good. Yes, sir. About as far as we can go. Let me do another one real quick, like. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. Let me get the rest of these done and I'll go do the other side too. Tires are back on. I'm under here figuring on the drive shaft. Here it is right here. This is the one that was in the car. I took it out a couple years ago. I was looking for a slip yoke for lockjaw, and that may be where it's at. This one, I don't know where it came from. I think I ordered it for my car several years ago. That's the one we're going to use. It straps on. Here they are right here. Anyway, you can see the caps are gone on both ends. So I've just been holding it up here, eyeballing it. And to get it to even think about slipping in here, that's got to be pushed all the way in, and that ain't going to work. It needs to be out, an inch or so, probably approximately right there. Because you want it to be able to slip in and out as your rear end goes in and up, or up and down. So we're probably going to take an inch or so off this drive shaft. We might do that tomorrow after we get the throttle bracket done. There's a reason why I put that off, because I knew it was going to be a pain. We'll get that figured out tomorrow. Hopefully we'll get a drive shaft done and we'll maybe do some other stuff. Didn't get nothing done today, fellers. That medicine that I'm on for my knees, I told y'all I was going to start taking it twice a day, and it's helping. My knee the last couple of days have been pretty good, but it makes me tired sleeping. About an hour after I take it in the morning, man, it's just like taking a sleeping pill. I can't hardly hold my eyes open, and it's dragging me down. I'm going to try to get my knee in better shape so I can get off that medicine, and maybe it'll perk me back up a little bit. Anyway, tomorrow, hopefully we'll get some more stuff done. Well, I just got back from Ireland. Got my U-joints and U-bolts, and also got this right here. Can you guess what that is? That is dude's ignition switch. Well, half of it. Yes, sir. It fell apart on me right there in the parking lot of O'Reilly's. I had to hot wire it. I had to go in and borrow some cutters because I used to carry a pocket knife all the time, but I don't like stuff in my pockets, so I quit carrying it. Well, I think I'm going to put it back in there because I really could have used it cutting wire and hot wiring the ignition switch. Got it started, got it home. Also, whilst I was working on this, I met a fan, shook his hand, took a picture, and that was awesome. So that made it all worth it. Anyway, let's see if we can get us a throttle bracket built. Here's the first piece. It's going to bolt to these two intake manifold bolts. And then I cut this old quadrant bracket up. It's going to be mounted approximately right here, probably about right there. And then I'm going to have a piece come up from this piece up to it, and then it's going to come over here, and it's probably going to go back down. Sort of box it in, make it stout and strong, because I don't want it bending and breaking whilst I'm going whompow. So let me get some measurements and go to cutting some metal and we'll weld it together, and hopefully it's going to work. Well, here's what I come up with. We're going to take this piece right here, mount it on top of all that I just built, approximately right there. And I think it'll be just fine and dandy. It's a little bit flimsy, so I'm going to box this side in, probably the back side too. I'm going to cut this off at an angle, make it look a little better. Might even put some speed holes. I don't know. Depends on, how crazy I get. Anyway, let me get this done up, and then we'll be done with that and get to work on the lovely gas pedal. You are now looking at the world's most robustly built throttle cable bracket in the entire world. Yes, sir, that's a hoss. Put a piece of key stock here, trying to keep it from flexing, but it still flexes. I think I might put one across the back going this way. But other than that, she's pretty much done. Got me some speed holes. We got race car parts now, so You know, we got a Corvette rear end. We're probably going to be turning her into a race car. Yep, sure is. Anyway, let me get that back off there. I want to paint it. Well, let me show you how it operates, though. It does operate. Home pow, and then home pow. Let me get it off there and get it painted. I'm going to probably weld another piece back there just to stiffen it up a little bit more. Whilst I wait on the paint to dry, let's work on the gas pedal. I've decided, let's try to use this old goofy looking pedal. I still don't understand that crook in it, but whatever. I think what we'll do is cut it off right here, and then we'll have to add a piece back to make them straight. Once I do that, then we'll have to determine where we're going to put it on the firewall and then go from there. Per usual, I'm probably going to have to weld some of this right back together. This piece and, was it this one here? I think. I should have left that and cut it off here and just put this back up here. Yes, sir, that's what I should have done. That's what I'm going to try anyway, so I forgot how I was going to do that. I think it was like that. Anyway, let me cut it off and go to welding it back together, and let's see what we can figure out. All right, let me go put it in the Cara, see what it looks like. Well, there's no need to even show you that because it ain't gonna work. Absolutely not. I'm gonna break it loose here, turn this piece 180, weld it back together, see if that don't help us out. All right, let me go see what that does. All right, here's the deal. We are getting closer. This piece up here, it needs to be, you know, pretty close to the firewall. Well, then you see how much our pedals kicked out. Quite a bit. So, we'll see how that's also bent the wrong way too, though. Let me straighten this up, and then I may have to put this right back where it was. It's just a trial and error, fellas. All right, I think this here is really close. I'm not gonna weld these up just yet. What I'm gonna do right now, let's make us a plate that we can weld to the firewall and then bolt that piece to it, and we'll know more. I got to get this old gas pedal out of the way firstly, so let me do that. Here's the plate that we're going to bolt the gas pedal assembly to. Then I'm going to weld this to the firewall. Then I got to drill a square hole some kind of way. Then we can hook it all up and be done. I'm about tired of fooling with this gas pedal anyway. All right, I'm gonna put this approximately right here. I'll make sure I got enough room for the little feetsies over here. Probably gonna go about right there, and that will be positioned about right there, and that gives us plenty of gas pedal room. So if I had something to mark with, I'd go ahead and mark that about right there. All right, let me get my grinder and welder over here and we'll get to welding that on. I get to use my little fire mat here. They're made out of fiberglass. I'm having to lay on it. I really hope I don't start itching. Anyway, let me get this here ground up a little bit, cleaned up. I'm using my small grinder in case you're wondering. I think that'll be all right. We'll try it right there. I think we're done with that. Now let me get my square hole drilled. Well, I had to stop and vacuum the seats because they had shiny little shards of fiberglass all over them. I still see some. That's probably gonna make me itch for days. I have determined this hole needs to be, well, I'm not sure. We're gonna try a 1/2 inch hole If that don't work well, we'll take her on out a little bit bigger. Let me get this one started firstly. Now I'm filing this out to a square hole. I already got my bottom pretty much took care of. Let me get these two top corners. All right, I'll probably have to keep working with that. I'm gonna go get my throttle cable. We'll try it and see what it does. When I get done, I'll be back. And that is how you turn a round hole into a square one. I kept using my round file till I got it big enough for my small flat file. And there you go. Let me paint this. I gotta weld it up and then paint it. And we'll put it all together. We should be done with the gas pedal acceleratory device. Well, I got everything together and it just didn't quite work right. I had to cut a notch right here, bend this top this away to give me enough room down here before I hit the floorboard. So I think I got it right now. I'm gonna weld this up, give her another coat of paint, put it back together. Fingers crossed that it works this time. Y'all look at here. We got us an acceleratory device, one pow pedal. We're gonna go one pow, one pow, one pow for too long. Let's go out here and look at the other real quick. The Artez right there. Oh yeah. Let me set the camera up. Let's see if she's opening up wide open. I hope she is because I'm about tired of fooling with this. Oh yeah. All right, here we go. One pow, one pow, one pow. Well, I reviewed the footage and she ain't opening up quite 100% tile. It's close enough. I'll put up a couple screenshots right here of me doing it with the gas pedal and then doing it by hand. Y'all can compare. It's close enough. It don't matter. I'm just happy that now we got us a gas pedal. We can go one pow whenever we want to. Also, whilst I was waiting for that paint to dry, I put the hood latch on. I put this piece of trim on that says shimmy lay. Then I put that piece of trim on there. It helped the front end a little bit. This took way longer than I thought it would. Yes, sir. So we ain't got enough time to do no drive shafting tonight. Tomorrow, that's what we'll do. And then I don't know what we'll do after that. We got running boards. We got a windshield to put in. We got window rubber around back to put in. I don't know. We'll find something to do because there's always something to do around here. I will see y'all tomorrow. Well, as you can see, I got the drive shaft chucked up in the lathe here. I done sanded it down because she was rough. And, well, you have to run your dial indicator across here and then across the top, you know, getting it true and level and all that. Plus, you know, it's 4-jaw chuck. You got to get her running true and center there. Got all that done. And she's running about 30 thousandths out. Yep, I bet that feller there, it probably vibrated a little bit when you got up to highway speed. Just quickly what I'm going to do, I got to take 1 inch and 13/16 off of it. I'm just going to cut that weld and we'll break it loose. I'll cut it off, stick it back in here, get it running true. We'll weld it up. That'll be that. I'm probably not going to video any of this. I just want to get it done. If you want to see this process, how I do it, I got a video I did a couple years ago making a drive shaft for lockjaw. Go check that out. Anyways, let's get this drive shaft shortened. I'll be back in a little while. I just wanted to show y'all real quick how much run out this thing's got. I bet you she had a wee bit of little vibration going down the road. Anyway, I got this weld cut flat. Got to cut a little more and then we'll probably peck on it with a hammer. Try to break it loose and we shall proceed to continue. Got the yoke cut off. Now I'm fixing to take off. Well, I'm going 1 3/4 inches. I said 1 13/16, but I decided we'll just go 1 3/4. We'll cut it off with a cut-off wheel. Then I had to beat that back on, stick it in the lathe, get it running true, tack it, and weld it up. Well, I got the yoke back in the drive shaft tube. I got her dialed in here again. Well, it's within a thousandth. Look at it right there. Oh, yeah. Now I'm going to move my dial indicator over here. True this up. I'll tack it and tack it. I'll check the trueness again. Tack it 90 degrees from those. Check it again. If it's true, we'll weld it up. Got the tube straight, sort of. It's sometimes they act like they're dented in, like at 3 or 4 places, sort of like it's square almost. And well, you just have to get it the best you can when they're like that. This one here is swinging back and forth, 5 by thousands. So I'm gonna call it good. You know, it's just got dips in it. You just have to sort of find a happy medium when they're like that. Anyway, let me tack her up, then we'll weld her up. Got it welded up. I refuse to show you that weld. I don't grind welds that often, you know, due to how they look. I had to grind that one. That old welder over there, I don't like it. I never have. That's probably the worst weld I've ever done in my entire life. Anyway, y'all watch that dial indicator right there. She ain't bad. It's within 5 by thousandths until it gets to the seam. That's when you see it swinging crazy, like that right there. They all do that. Well, I'll tell you what, let me turn it on and spin it. We'll compare now to what I started with. And listen here, she's gonna be running a whole lot straighter. Here it is in the present form, running pretty true. You see that little whoop-de-doo, that's the seam. Now I will show you what we was working with before. Quite a bit of difference, ain't it? Oh yeah, we're running pretty true now. I think we'll be all right. Let's go put it on the car. Drive shaft is painted and installed. I think it'll work just fine and dandy for what we're doing. Oh yeah, don't look too bad. I'm gonna call it a day early today. That dang secretary, she took off again. I'm telling you, she's gonna keep on till I fire her. I gotta run around town and I gotta go buy me some grinders. These one here, this button that you hold to change your wheel, well, it don't catch anymore. I'm having to stick a screwdriver down in here to grab hold of the fan where it won't turn. Well, I'm tired of doing that. This thing is probably, I'd say 15 years old at least. It's been a good one. So I'm gonna go back to Harbor Freight. I'm gonna get me 2 this time. One for a grinding wheel, one for a cutoff wheel, because I'm constantly having to change back and forth. Fooey on that. I'll just buy 2 of the cheaper ones. Hopefully they'll last as long as that one. Anyway, it is in the next town over because they shut our Harbor Freight down last year. Claimed they're gonna open it back up, but it ain't looking good. Anyway, let me hit the road, go to town, go to Harbor Freight. Tomorrow, we'll put us some running boards on. I reckon today is the day that we start trying to get these aggravating running boards on. It's not gonna be fun. I ain't looking forward to it. But let me show you these wonderful, awesome running boards first. Remember how I had to wait on them, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks? And I inquired about them one time. He said, well, they got them formed, but they got to weld them up, so that'll take about a week. Well, let me show you the welding that I waited on for a week. This garbage here is three little old welds, and there's 4 down here. Now, wait a minute, watch this. Oh, yeah, yes, sir. Every one of them but one is broke. That was during shipping. I mean, look at that. There's no, well, there's this, it's pitiful. The quality you get nowadays, this is an American company too. The quality you get from anybody nowadays is just a joke. I don't normally call companies out, but avoid EMS Automotive. They're the ones that manufacture them. Avoid them at all costs. There was another set that was like $150, $200 more than these. That's the ones I should have went with. Anyway, I'm gonna have to repair this before we ever get started. And see this hole here? Well, it coincides with this hole here. Well, you can't stick a bolt through there and then get a nut in here. So why in the world didn't they just weld a bolt or stud from the backside before they welded that on? I don't know. I'm a little aggravated. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Yep, a little aggravated looking at these. Ain't nothing I can do about it now. So let me repair that. And then, well, we'll get into what we got to do here in just a minute. But wait, there's more. Oh, yeah. I forgot to show y'all all this stuff right here. I'm assuming these are braces that go under the running board. Well, according to my research online, there's 3 per side. 3 plus 3 is 6. How many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And according to my research online, there's one kind that'll fit middle and back, and I think the front ones are longer. Well, look here. I got one long one of these. I got 2 long one of these. 3 of the shorter ones, they will go, if I'm not mistaken, in the middle and the back. I got 4 short ones. I ain't got a clue. Like I said, here, I'll show you again. Right here. Yep, they got a little catalog that they sent. EMS. Avoid them at all costs. Anyway, like I said, let me repair this. And there's no instructions. I don't know. I'm assuming that you line them 2 holes up like there and weld them up. Well, let me show you how it is on the car from the factory. Like right, where's it at? There's a bolt here and a bolt here. And there's supposed to be a piece back here. Well, it's gone. And it bolts up like this. These 2 holes will go here. And that hole there will go back there. I'm assuming you line those 2 holes up and weld it up. Like I said, there was no instructions with it. Anyway, can y'all tell I'm a little aggravated right now? Yep. Let me weld that up. I'm gonna re-weld that. Actually, I may cut this weld loose and get me a bolt back here, weld it in, and I'm sure I'll have to do the same to the other one. When I get that done, we gotta figure out what we're gonna do here because it's pretty rotten under there. Well, I got one of them repaired. I had to cut this piece away and weld a stud on, to the back side and weld that back up. And of course, I welded this stuff back up where it broke loose. I got it pretty much where it needs to go. I don't know if y'all can see that in there. It's a broke stud. That's one of the brackets, support brackets. And I got it lining up with that hole. So it's where it needs to go. It's gonna fit. Let me take it back off and I'll show you what all we're gonna have to do to get it mounted to the car. Here's what we're gonna have to do to mount these running boards. This is the worst side, by the way. I figured, I'm already perturbed because I bought $500 worth of junk. I figured, well, I can't get much more upset. So let's just start on the worst side. This is your outer rocker and then the inner rocker's in here. Well, let me show you this firstly. I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me get a little bit better light. That little fella there is not supposed to move. It's the outer rocker, the bottom of it is gone from here to here. And then big old chunk right back here. The way these running boards mount, you see this right here. Well, hang on, let me go get the bracket. Well, it's a 2-piece bracket, I guess. I gotta weld it up. Let me go get it and I'll explain how they mount. All right, here are my brackets that I'm assuming what you do is you take this hole and line it up with these 2 holes and you weld it together. Now, why they didn't do that from the factory, I ain't got a clue, unless it's got something to do with maybe fitment issues. You bolt these 2 up there and then weld them together. I ain't got a clue. There's no instructions, so I just have to guess. But anyway, let's see how this is supposed to mount. See this little bracket right there? Most of them are missing. This is about the only one I got. Well, it's supposed to go just like that right there and bolts in here plus these 2 places here. But as you can see, the bottom of this rocker, well, there ain't nothing here. It's gone away. And it's like that back here. There's supposed to be another brace here. And then see these 2 broken bolts here. Supposed to be another one here. Well, let me show you on this running board. See all these holes down through here? They screw into here with just sheet metal screws. I need to replace the rockers, but I ain't going to. No, sir, I sure ain't. This is what I want to do. We're gonna make us a strip of metal to go in here, however far we need to, weld it in, and then we're gonna sheet metal screw the whole thing with self-tappers or whatever. Of course, we're gonna bolt it here and up here, through here and right here. And then I'm gonna try to make one bracket, probably come back to the frame, and then come out and help support that running board. I don't normally step on the running boards. Like Dude, rarely. I just step over it. And this car is even lower than Dude, so I'm pretty sure I won't be stepping on them, but somebody else might. I don't want them putting their big old foot here and bending my running board because they are junk, but they were kind of expensive junk. I don't want them getting bent. So we'll put one here, and I think that'll help support, in case anybody steps right there getting in. Let me get to cutting metal and cleaning this up, and hopefully I can tack that in good enough that it'll support it. I'll be back here in a little bit. All right, cut me a little piece of metal. This is some of the old gas tank, you know, the one I built. That section that we cut off, this is part of it right here. I'm gonna try to weld it right there. And well, I'll tell you what we may have to do. We may have to do this all the way down. I don't know. Let me just see how this does firstly. I need to trim just a little bit off that edge right there, approximately from here out. Let me do a little trimming, tack that in and just see what it looks like. If I think it's gonna work, then we got another section down there to do, and then maybe these holes here I think will probably be okay to shoot the sheet metal screws through. Then I'll just have to make a bracket right here. All right, I think I got her trimmed where it'll fit pretty good. Approximately right there. Got that little patch panel in place. It ain't pretty, but I think it'll be all right. It's pretty solid. I think what we're gonna do now, you know, I was gonna put one back here, but I got to thinking. Well, I got metal, good metal all the way to here, and there's a screw hole I think right there, and it's gonna be bolted to the fender here. I don't think we're gonna worry about anything right here. Like I said, we'll bolt it here, and then from here all the way up, we'll use sheet metal screws, and then I'm gonna build my brace right here. So let's go ahead, get it bolted and screwed on, and then I'll start making my brace right there. I'm gonna shoot a couple of screws in it, make sure everything lines up good, then we'll put them on in. That there's a little too rusty. I reckon we'll bolt it to the front of this fender. That'll hold that up there. I'm basically just trying to keep a big old gap from happening here, like right here. Actually, I think I need to take a hammer, peck on that. Let me do that. That helped it out some. I think if I put another self-tapper right there, we'll probably be all right. Let me get one. Oh yeah, it looks a lot better. When I get these screws in, I'll tighten all that up. And then back here, well, I'm gonna try to pull it up. We gotta drill holes because none of these line up. So when I drill them, I'll pull that up and try to take that gap out. But I think it's gonna work. Yep. All right, I got all the screws that I can in the bottom here. I'm fixing to try to drill these holes through this fender because the holes don't line up. Imagine that. Let me give me a clamp that where it goes, where it'll stay in place, and then I'll get them holes drilled. Approximately right there. Get a bolt. I need a bolt, man. There's one. This fender, it has a patch panel on the bottom here, and it's in pretty bad shape. So I'm having to put a big old whoosher back here to keep it from pulling through. All right, that's got that pretty secure. I think now, let's put us a brace out here in the middle. Here's what I'm using for my brace. Just a simple piece of square tubing. I'm gonna put it up here about where the stock brace used to be. I'm gonna weld it to the frame and to the running board, but I ain't gonna put no hog welds on it because, you know, we may want to get it back loose one day if I ever get a wild hair and decided to do some body work. Let me get that welded on. We'll be done with this side. Sure will. Well, there's one running board complete. Look at the underside there. Got all them there screws. There's my brace. I didn't do no hog welds, just a couple of tacks here and there in case we ever want to get it back loose. I think it'll be just fine and dandly. Just in case, you know, I do step my fat butt on there. I don't think I'll be breaking nothing. Well, I might though. You never know. Let me go do the other side. Then I'm going to put some paint on both of them. And then we'll be done with them. Oh, yeah. Running boards are painted and back on the car. Well, that side over there, y'all remember, I welded it on before I painted it. I remember not to do it over here. Anyway, there, both sides are painted. And let me tell you, this makes this old car look mucho better. Yes, sir. I have never seen this car with running boards on it. It's the first time I've ever seen it. Yes, sir. Looks pretty good. I went ahead and mounted one front tire and wheel. It's over there on that side. No, I'm not showing you. Nope, not yet. But I just want to check my clearance, you know, fender clearance and all. Well, I fired the thing up just so I could, you know, turn the wheel back and forth. It was running like garbage. I couldn't keep it running. Well, after, you know, all that, I came out here looking around the motor and, well, then I remembered that I pulled half the spark plug wires off the distributor when I was working on the throttle. Yep, sure was. So that's probably why it was running so bad. It's still gassy though. So I think tomorrow we're gonna look at these carburetors. I got to make a timing tab, get this thing timed right. And what else have we got to do? Windshield, back window, rubber. I don't know, I'll have to look at the list. We gotta line it up. And I don't know, you know, I thought about painting all these spots with this black. I think I'm gonna leave them though. Yep. And we're gonna wash it, and I'm gonna put something on it. You know, I told y'all I don't like shiny rust, but there ain't really a whole lot you can do other than that. I mean, you can have some kind of a matte finish, but we're gonna do something like that. That'll probably be in a couple of days from now. But tomorrow, let's work on the motor, and I'll have to look at my list and see what else we got to do. I'm tired. It's late. I'm hungry. I'm a growing boy. I got to have my food. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Well, we're back for another day working on the old Forte. Like I told you yesterday, we're going to fool with these carburetor devices. Try to figure out why this thing's running so rich. And I got to make a timing tab so we can get her timed right. But before we do that, I bought this right here. It's a cap that goes on a points distributor, but it's got the male HEI type terminals. So we can run my pretty red wires that I wanted to run. Let me do that first. Put that cap on, get all the wires run, because here's my theory on this thing running rich. I want to start it up, let it run for a little bit, shut it off. Then I'm gonna pull the carbs off, and I want to see if there's any gas, you know, maybe standing down in that intake somewhere, letting me know possibly which carb is, you know, causing all this gassiness. She's a gassy girl. I guess we could call her a gasser. I don't know. Anyway, let me get that done, and we'll pull them carbs off and go to looking at them. Got the cap and wires swapped out. Looks much better. Gives it a little more color up here. I just wish that cap was red or black. It's sort of a maroonish or brownish. Anyway, it'll be all right. But here's the deal, fellers. I fired it up, put with these carbs for, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. And it was so fumy and gassy and smoky, I couldn't even sit inside of it. Here's what I have determined. The motor is wore out. We knew that, but I really thought that smoke was fuel smoke. It's not. Apparently my nose is out of calibration because it smells just like it. It don't smell like no oil burner. Here's what I did to deduce that it is oil and not fuel. You know, I let it warm up. And I come over here and opened up the secondaries. I mean, just barely. Now, if it was running rich, you give it some more air, it should rev up. No, sir. I mean, the second that I cracked that throttle, it died. Fired it back up. I got to adjusting on the idle mixture screws on this middle carb. I turned that side out a turn and a half maybe, and it kept bringing RPMs up. This one over here, I turned it a half, 3/4, somewhere in there, and again RPMs coming up. So that tells me it was not running rich. It actually wanted more fuel because I gave it more fuel. That tells me it ain't running rich. It's just an old wore out motor. I have been working my butt off the last week or so trying to get this car done. I wanted it done this week, and we were going to accomplish it. But I'm not going to end this video with this old hunk of junk motor in it, me not being able to drive it when I want to. Like I said, I can't even sit in it. It's so fuming. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to build a motor. Yep. I think what I'm going to do, the old 327 out of dude, he's sitting over there under the rack. I think we're going to pull it out, go through him. We're probably going to take a break from this for a week or two because, well, I got another project to do anyway for somebody else that I've been planning on videoing it, and, well, I guess it's coming next week. I need to get this off the rack, though, because I need that vehicle on this rack. So we're going to back it out, pull it over there, but I can't back it out with these tires because they rub the fenders real bad. I'm afraid I'll tear the fenders up. So looks like I'm fixing to put our new wheels and tires on it. Let me do that, and we'll back it out and get it over yonder. Well, there's my wheels and tires. Some of you will love them. Some of you will hate them. I've come to find out. I can't please everybody, so you know what? I just try to please myself. I do what I want to do. They are the Torque Thrust 2s, the ones I originally wanted to go with. That little wheel tire simulator tool, it helps a lot. It really does. These are 18 by 8s. Fronts are 18 by 7s. 255 55s. And I think that's just about right. I don't think I can fit any more tire. Matter of fact, this one is rubbing the fender now. And I don't know why. Because the other day when I tried it on, I had plenty of room. I could stick almost my pinky in between there. I think what might be going on is, when I put this running board on, there was a big gap, like a 1/2-inch gap. Well, I pulled it together, and when it pulled this fender in the middle, well, it made this twist in. So we're gonna have to work on that because I can't have that. But yes, sir, I like the look of that, tire being tucked. That's the look I was going for. I didn't think I was gonna be able to do it, but yes, sir, I managed to do it. Front ones are 215 40s. Sidewall's a little too short, but I had to go that short to make sure that my tire didn't rub the fender when I turn the wheel. We might can go with a 45, we'll just have to see. But for now, that's what we got. Oh yeah. She's got a little bit of a stance too. Let me get back where you can see it. I might be able to see it, I don't know, maybe not. She got just a wee bit of a stance sitting up in the back. I think it looks pretty sharp. I really do like them. Anyway, let's get this off of this lift, get it over here in this bay. That way I can get our next project over there. She's fixing to move under her own power for the first time in 29 years. Oh yeah. Fellers, wait till you see her outside in the sunshine from a little bit of a distance. Oh, yeah, it looks good. It looks real good. I'm pretty pleased with it. I sure am. I think what I'm gonna do right now, in just a minute, I'm gonna pull that 327 out, go tear it down, go through it, and see if we can use the crank. If not, I'm gonna buy a balanced rotating assembly. Of course, we'll have to bore the block and all that. That'll be on the next video of this old car. Like I said, we're gonna take a week or two break off, and I got another project to do. But yeah, it's I'm happy with the way it looks. Anyway, appreciate y'all watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you don't mind, hit that like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends. And until next time, go do something. Blur, blur.